So,
IDQ is out of this program. We'll be doing purely power center training program.
okay.
And I also have about 8.5 years of experience. I've been working with companies like VisualSoft, EDS, Electronic Data Systems, which is now emphasis on HP, and Wells Fargo. Okay.
Okay.
And I do corporate trainings and online training. So I work closely with Oracle, Visual, Satyam, Arbitron, and Fidelity. These are my regular plans. Plus, I do online trainings also. This is basically what I do. And as far as the program is concerned, we would start with data warehousing concept. There's a echo coming up. I don't know for what reason.
Yeah, I don't know. Something is not clear. I don't know.
You can actually mute your, if there are more than one people, we need to mute our mics if you're not talking. Yeah, now it is fine. Okay.
But are there
So
people? I don't think so. I am the only one right here.
I think Mufassir is also there. So Mufassir, can you please mute your mic? Then yeah, it is now better now. So whenever you are not speaking, then you can actually mute your mic. That's fine. So as far as Informatica, I have already trained about 200 odd students in US, UK, and Canada. And in this program, we will start with basic data warehousing concepts. Are you clear with the data warehousing concepts, Venu?
Your voice is not clear.
My voice is at my best. I don't know. I mean, Venu, can you hear me properly? Hello?
When some words I am not able to hear you.
It's absolutely like what I do it every day. There's nothing I can alter here. Everything is as per what I normally do on a regular class.
Now it is better, I guess. Venu, are you able to hear him?
From where are you calling?
That location is not a problem, but the point is, what you can do is you can actually mute your mics. If there are more than one person, all of you have to mute your mic so the communication to go properly. Is it okay? Is it better now? Hello? Is it better now? Hello?
Ajay, your voice is good at times and sometimes it is fading away. It's going very low. We are not even able to hear you. Now it is good, but sometime back it was, we are not able to hear you at all. And there is echo also.
Problem with the
Are you on laptop?
This is what we do on regularly on laptop only for last 3-4 years. Okay. If you are not comfortable or if you are not clear about it, then please reschedule it. Hello? Is it clear now?
Go ahead.
Okay, okay. So, yeah, what I was telling you is we start with basics, data warehouse concepts, what is data warehouse and all that. Then we move on to ETL, the product that is Power Center itself. And as part of it, we learn all the transformations and all. Apart from this, we learn a little bit of dimensional modeling using ERWing or something like that, or whichever tool you think is comfortable for you. So, and then we will conclude it with performance tuning. So this is the basic methodology of how we go. And kind of method we follow is, we will actually show you some topic, discussion on a topic. Then we'll do a particular exercise and allow you to actually access my system. I will provide you access. Then you will be able to do it on my system also for a particular program, and then I'll be monitoring you so that you gain confidence about how to work with the tool. So slowly, as you keep building your confidence about how to work with the ETL process and all that, we can give you some assignments or something where you can actually start working at your end also. Okay. Now to go ahead, if you want to work with Informatica, you go to the Start button, and if you already installed it, you have Informatica 9.1. Then you have something called as server here. You will get two folders. Okay. So client and server, but take up the server and then say Start Informatica Service. This is the first step that you do. So once you start Informatica Services, that is a service that has been started. Then the next thing that you do is you go to Informatica. Then there's a client folder here. In the client folder, you have the client development Power Center client tools, that is Designer, Repository Manager, Workflow Manager, and Workflow Monitor. So you choose one of these things, like something like a Repository Manager, something like that, and just click on this. But otherwise, what is your understanding about ETL? Before this comes up, I may take some minute, but what is your understanding about ETL or Informatica?
Which basically does extract.
Transformation and loading, right? Exactly. So let's say you have a source. Okay, let's assume that this is your source, and the source can be something like a relational database, or it could be anything like that. So let's say you have a source here, and you have a target here, right? You have a target also here, fine? And we need to pull data from the source into the target. Okay, to better understand this, let's take one example of something like what we call Reebok, or let's say Samsung or Sony Corporation, or anything like that. So let's take Sony. It's an electronic giant. Sony sells so many products. It sells camcorders, TVs, laptops, mobiles, so many things it sells. So when Sony wants to understand its business, or for example, the senior management of Sony Corporation wants to know what is the total sales across the globe, because it sells across the globe. The products are sold in Europe, they're sold in US, they're sold in Asia, they're sold in Australia. Every country and every continent you find these products. But if they want to know for a particular product, let's say the product model number is ABC123. They want to know what is the total sales for a particular month ending January 2014. They want to know. How would they know that? It is going to be very difficult, because data is dispersed across different systems. Right? So probably they have one server in US, right? They have one server in somewhere else in France. There is one server in some other country and some other place, or whatever, wherever the servers are. But the point is that there are so many servers which are collecting information about the daily sales. Right? So when they do a sale, for example, when they store data for something like, if they're selling in France, they might have in euros or francs or whatever it is. But if they do it in something like Russia, they might have rubles. All the transactions in rubles. In US, they might be doing it in dollars. In India, it could be rupees. Okay. So the point is that the transaction history that they are collecting at the source is very, very varied. It's so much different from one from the other. Apart from that, the cost of this very same product could differ in terms of value. For example, the reason being that there are local taxation laws, then there is a local VAT. So everybody has got their own way of calculating their prices. So that makes a huge amount of difference at the source. Now we need to actually align all these records, okay, one after the other, so that we can perform summaries and conclude our objective of finding the total sales of a particular product. As I told you, in this case, let us take an example of model number ABC123. So performing this task in any other way is going to be very, very laborious, very, very difficult task. But if we have an ETL tool, so whatever it is, whether it is Informatica or whether it is what you call data stage, or you name anything like admin show, anything, whatever it is. If you have an Informatica server, what the Informatica server can do is, once you schedule a job after creating all the mappings, it can go to a particular source, pick up the data, transform it, and then load it into your target. Now what is that it's going to transform? The need for transformation. The need for transformation arises because all the source transactions at different servers are of different what you call currencies. As I said, the records for US are in dollars, the Russian records are in rubles. So I'm just trying to give you an example what is the need for Informatica server and what Informatica server does. Okay, so it can go pick up a particular set of records from a particular server, bring it here, transform all the values into a single currency, something like dollars, all the value in dollars, and then load into this. So let's say all this from the US server is about something like this in terms of dollars. Then the next job is to go to another server, pick up all this data, bring it, and then load it into this. So that's going to be again in dollars. So this way the Informatica server picks up everything and transforms it once scheduled and then loads it without human intervention. And in case there is anything going wrong, we can actually fix the problems by manually getting into the root cause of this particular issue. Now once you have all these data, you can perform a summary on this and come to conclusion, and that will be an easier way or the proper way of actually understanding what is the total sales for a particular product for a given period. So apart from this, lot of reports can be generated. That is, not only this, once your data warehouse, let's assume that this is your data warehouse, okay, the one that I'm talking about at the right side, fine. But we do also have, apart from this data warehouse, which is a very huge database, we also have something like called as data marts. Okay, we'll be learning about what data marts are and all these things. On top of, you opened your mic, I think I'm getting a resound. If you have a question, please ask me. Okay, I assume you have no question right now. So these are the data marts, and you're going to learn more about data marts. But collecting information in the data warehouse is not the only objective. Once everything is available in the data warehouse, the complete historical information about all the sales that are happening, we have it in the data warehouse. The next thing that we do is we use BI servers. Okay, now BI servers like OBI, Cognos, business objects, or anything like that. Now these BI servers are going to access either the data warehouse or the data marts or whatever it is, and then they generate actually reports. Fine, they generate reports. Okay, and these reports are the ones that we are looking forward for. Okay, so in these reports we can know exactly like what is the sale that is happening for a particular region. So you can slice and dice there. I mean, you can. The reports are so very flexible using these BI tools that just by clicks you can understand in terms of pie charts, graphs, and so many other ways information about the complete enterprise sales history and all these things, which give a real valuable information for the organization to make some decisions. So this is the basic concept, and what is our job? We are going to connect to the server to clients. Okay, so when we work on Informatica, this is the simplest way of processing.
Can you show me?
Yes, you have.
Can you show me the Informatica? I mean, at least the tool, at least how it looks like and what all components it has right now.
Yeah, I will show that. I'm just coming to that only. I'm just talking about that. So when you work in this entire environment, you actually are sitting on this client, and we connect to the server from here to here. We connect to the server, and on this client we have these tools. This is what we are talking about. We have repository manager, Designer, Workflow Manager, and Workflow Monitor. These are the 4 tools. So every developer of Power Center will have these 4 tools, and we will be connecting to this, and in turn we will be creating what we call as uh, all these mappings and all these things, and schedule it such that on a timely basis they go access the servers and complete their job. So let us see an example of how we move data from using the Informatica itself. And to do that, I am connecting to my backend, and on my backend I have a user called as Scott. I have a user called as Scott, and I have some tables. So I have so many tables, but let me take up one table. I have 4 records in this table. I have one more user. I'm just connecting to this user. His name is target and target. My objective of moving data from Scott to Tiger I'll be using Informatica to do that. So we'll see how to move this data, this table, this particular table. There's 4 records from source to the target. So coming to this, what we can do is we can connect to one of these repositories, basically connect to these repositories. This is a dialog box which says you can give your username and password. So connect to Informatica. And repository manager is one tool for the client wherein you connect to a repository and create folders. So just create a folder here. So let's call it as FN or sample folder or something like that. So simply say sample folder. So you have your sample folder up here. Okay. Thank you. Okay. So this sample folder will be appearing in the Designer, Workflow Manager, as well as Workflow Monitor too. Let's go to the Designer here and see the same folder here. So we have this folder, it's open, and on the right side we have the work area. The work area comprises of 5 more tools called as Target Designer, Target Designer, Transformation Developer, Maplet Designer, and Mapping Designer. These are the 5 tools we work with. So I'll quickly show you how we access the database, that is from Scott schema. So our objective is to connect to Scott, right, and pick up the table DPT. Fine. So this is our source, right, and it has got about 3 columns: department number, department name, and location. Now in the target, what I'm trying to do is, that is my target schema, I'm just trying to create the same table, but what I'll just rename it. I'll call it as DPT underscore TGT. That is to say that it is target. Now this one also has got the same number of columns, but as of now there is no data in this, and we are not sure whether this table exists at the backend. So I'll try to go and create it from Informatica, this table. Normally you create table and all that, but Informatica has got some tools here, wherein you can connect to your backend tool, backend database, and create the table. So I would say target, generate and execute. Okay. So it has created a table. Let's go and see at the backend. Here we have this table. So let's start from DPT underscore TGT. No rows. The table exists. Okay. So going back to Designer. Now we'll go to the last tool called as Mapping Designer. Click on this. Drag this source from here. Name this mapping. Okay. So sample mapping or something like that. And just pull up the target also. So we have the source, we have the target object, and all that we need to do is just map them. Department number port to the department number, target port, and DNAME port as well, and location port. So we are telling Informatica that you need to move data from source to target in this particular manner. And as we further go into the lessons, we'll understand some more complex things like how to transform data. Here we are not transforming anything, we're just moving from the source to the target. Simple. Now once I do this, I can actually go and validate this mapping if you want, or you can simply save it. So you go and save this mapping. So it is inserted. It has been inserted into the repository actually. We talk about what is repository, how it works, what is the connectivity between repository and this tools and all these things in the sessions. After completing this, you'll go to the workflow manager. Okay. And in this workflow manager, this allows you to actually create workflows. So simply go and say create a workflow. So okay, so this is your thing. Then also create a task here. This task should be associated with the mapping that you have already created. The mapping that you have created in your designer, this is the one. So you are attaching this here and you're done with this. Okay, so we have two objects here. One is start task, you have also the session task, and we have one more task which link both these things called as link task. So totally in the workflow we have 3 tasks. We need to configure this, so I'll just double click this, go to this mapping tab and say that this is coming from source. That's fine, it is, but this is to be going to the target. So all this we will learn at a later point of time. I'm just making few things here. Now all this needs to be saved. Just save all this. Now before I run, I want to go back to my backend and check whether still there is data here or no. So I'm trying to check. There is no data here right now. But once I run this mapping, you will see that data will be moving from source to target. Start the workflow. So the workflow is running as well as the session task also running. So the session task is completed. Now let's go right click, get session log. Now this is very valuable information for us. So it talks about how the process of data has moved from the source to the target. Right? It talks about what is the repository name, what is the server name, what is the folder name, what is the workflow name, mapping name, the date and the format that you're using here. All these things, and at the end of it, it also talks about whether it is successful or no, how many records it has loaded and all that. So it says start load session, whether it's successful.
Hi Ajay, this is Hussain.
What is the time it starts? Yeah.
There's another candidate, Rimita, she has joined, and she says that she's not able to hear you. Your voice is very low, and it is really low. It went down again.
Hussain, I'm at my best, Hussain. Yeah, I mean, this is the regular thing that we do.
I mean, are you on a laptop or a system? Are you using a headset?
I'm on my laptop.
Okay, I'm going to call you on your mobile. Can you please answer the call?
Yeah, sure.
There are 3 other callers on the call.
Statement. Select star from this, and you see the data has moved. Okay, so it was actually in Scott, but all of that has moved to the target. So if you want, you can still confirm this. You are in show user, you are in target, and how many records you have in this table? You have 4 records. 1 second, please. Hello. Okay, just to confirm it once again, what we do is we will try to run it once again. Okay, I'll close this thing here, and we can run the session once again here. I said restart. So this is running once again, and it succeeded. So this time it goes, we already have established the contact between source, target, and all these things. So it's just going to go again and bring 4 more records. So you have 8 records now in your target table. So every time once you have created your sessions and everything, all that you need to do is schedule your jobs. So once you start scheduling it, it goes, picks up the data and starts loading into the target. As simple as that. Okay, Venu, you have any questions now? Venu, are you there?
So where do you do actual filters and all? I mean, like, or if you have any multi-file, how do you process all those things?
What do you want? I didn't get your point.
So where do you do filter the records, or I mean, or if you have a multi-file or something, right? How do you process? Does Informatica process multi-files?
1 second. 1 second, Venu. Please give me 1 minute. Hello. Yes, Hussein. Yes, how are you? Okay. On this my mobile. To whom, right? Yeah, sure.
Hi, Rim and Venu, can you hear us? Ajay?
Yeah.
Yes.
Tell me. This is going to duplicate, and there's a lot of sound coming up. Hello?
Yeah.
So I'll have to mute my. Yeah, is it okay now? Are you able to hear me?
I think it's better than previous, but there is echo.
There is echo because we are having 2 things here. One is the GoToMeeting, and the next one is. Yeah, now is it clear?
Yeah, now it's better than previous. Yeah.
Okay. I'm talking on the phone. I don't think you should have this problem actually, because I've been doing so many classes on GoToMeeting, and probably there's some exceptions.
No.
Sometimes we do have issues.
Okay, but the other 2 people who are talking, its voice is fine, but only your voice is little low. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
We can see for what you call one more tool we have, WebEx. So we can ask Hussein to go by that. We can try that.
Now it's better.
I mean, as far as I'm using my phone now. That is why it is.
Okay.
Conference is on the phone. Venu, are you there, Venu? Venu, are you there? Hello?
On.
Venu,
I'm on, I said.
are you there?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So you kind of understood the whole process, how it works?
Yeah. So what I was asking is, I mean, where actually were the components you were showing, right? I mean, like, do you have anything like, I mean, filters, or I mean,
see, all these things what you're seeing with my cursor on the top are the transformations. Okay, so you have the filter transformation, aggregator, lookup, sequence generator. Then we have the stored procedures. So these are all the components. Okay, so we're going to use all these things one by one. Fine. How do you use filter? How do you use multi-load files? How to parameterize your running session? How to sort it? How to route it? Okay. How to use transformation developers? Okay. So all these things one by one we will be learning. And on the top, what you can see here is all these transformations. So some of these transformations are not in our scope. So we will probably do about 10 to 12 transformations which are used in Informatica. Most of the time you would be using something like lookup. Expression transformation is the most commonly used most of the time, almost 80% of the time, because it allows you to actually perform some kind of changes that you want to do. In my example, I talked about how you want to convert the currencies, right? So different currencies, you want to convert it. So you use expression transformations where you use a lot of functions. Is this clear? Venu, do you have any more questions?
I have one question.
No, not.
Exactly like, may I ask you like?
Yes,
Hello?
please go ahead.
Okay,
Yes, please go ahead.
this is an ETL tool, right? So extract, transformation, and loading. So is there will be really
Exactly.
3 parts? Or
not 3 parts.
where is the extraction?
Not 3 parts. It is
So
not
where
3
will be
parts.
the extraction?
If you have attended, see, if you have understood this, what I have shown you just now about this process. Did you see this when I was talking?
No, I was joined late.
Or you joined later? Okay, you joined late. So here I was explaining that on the left-hand side we have some blocks, yellow-colored blocks. I was giving an example of Sony Corporation. Sony Corporation sells products across the globe. So the transaction that it records at different locations, assuming that this is coming up from USA, okay, and these transactions are from Japan, okay, and this is in something like Italy or something like that, and this is Indian transaction. So these all are having transaction history about sales for products related to Sony Corporation, whether it's a camcorder, TV panel, laptop, whatever it is. But the point is, they want to know, the senior management wants to know what is the total sales happening across the globe for a given month. Now, going and collecting information from this is going to be tedious. So we install Informatica. So we have this red color one, the Informatica server. Okay, the Informatica server here. And this Informatica server, what it does is, it goes to the source, okay, extracts this data, right? It goes, connects to this, extract the data, and kind of bring it here, transform this data here, and then load it into the data warehouse. When it does that, whatever sales it is getting it from the USA, it converts them into a single currency. Let's say our world reserve currency is dollars. So let's put all this in dollars. So $4,555 from USA for the month of January 2014. Then it goes to another source, India. It converts the rupees and makes it into dollars, and then loads saying that it is $444. So having all the results in a single currency makes it easy for us for summaries. Once you perform the summary, then you understand how your business works, right? So Informatica is doing the job of extracting from the source, transforming it here, and then loading it into your target. This is what it does. And the same thing I have shown you here, that we have something called as Scott here, who's got this 4 records in the DEPT table.
Yeah.
But what I have done is, I have put up a mapping in such a way when I run it, it is going to this Scott schema, picking up these 4 records and loading it in this target schema. In the process, I mean, this is the basics, but as we go further, you will understand many more transformations requirements. That is, you're not simply always going to extract just and load it like that. You would have to make changes. So what kind of changes? How you deal with these challenges? So all these things will be done in this design now.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Okay. You got it? Okay.
Yeah.
Any more questions?
I have
Some more questions?
not exactly not like that, but what are the topics to be covered in whole training? I don't have that one. So do you
Yeah,
have any
basically
list on
yeah, okay, fine. Yeah, fine, yeah. We have starting with what is data warehouse,
that?
okay? So we will go with some PPTs initially. It will be kind of theoretical one. I'm not
Okay.
sure if you have this background or no, but this is
No.
essential. Like what, before going to the tool, how I showed you in the Excel sheet, I have some PPTs actually. So
Okay.
we will go by these PPTs and try to understand so many things like what is source, what is target, what is data warehouse, okay? So these things we are going to cover for some time.
Okay.
So how you move this, what is the process, and what are very large databases, and something like a best definition given by Bill Inman. This man is considered a father of data warehouse or something like that. He's got an authority on that. So his
Okay.
definition says data warehouse is subject-oriented, integrated, time-varying, non-volatile collection of data. Plus some more things like what is the basic architecture, what are the different, you can see on the left-hand side, data is scattered across different kinds of databases. It need not necessarily a single database. It could be in relational database, it could be in ERP, it can be in purchase data, legacy data. So Informatica is such a strong tool that it can access any kind of databases or non-relational database also. It can be flat files. We'll see examples of flat files. How to extract data from flat files. How to load multiple files at a single go. Or how to extract from XML files. So these are all the things that we will learn. But before that, we have to understand these concepts. Fine. So what is decision support system? How is it different from OLTPs? And what are the issues you find if you don't have a data warehouse? Or where you use a data warehouse? What is the industry and what are the applications? If you look at something like telecommunications, whatever calls we make, everything is being captured into a data warehouse. Why do they need that? They need all this information so that they can send us some kind of offers, right? If we are regularly making calls to a particular country, then automatically a BI tool runs over the records and then sends us kind of promotion. So all these things. So what is data mining and where it is being used? So these are the things that we are going to first follow all this difference between OLTP and the decision support.
Okay.
So we will start with this, and then we will also learn about modeling actually. Data modeling is very important. Issues with data warehouse systems while loading, what are the things and all that. So we learn about star schemas, snowflake schemas, constellation schemas. Partition is not required, but how to construct your data warehouse, what are data marts, these things we will learn about. Okay. So this is how we go ahead, and once we complete this thing, then we will switch over to the tool, and we will start learning about all these transformations.
Okay. So actually, I've heard that.
All this is
No, you can go ahead. Yeah.
What I'm saying is that you should. You must be having a little bit of SQL knowledge for all this.
Okay. Okay. No.
Oracle SQL, little bit. Okay. And PL SQL is desirable. If you have PL SQL, it's well and good.
Okay. Okay.
Any more questions?
Means regarding that training, how long it will take? The time duration?
Training will be about 25 hours. And daily we are going to do about a couple of hours. I'm going to take up a session and also provide you time to actually do it from your end. The system will be provided for you from here. I mean, you can have, I'll give you access. You can do it while I'm here. So initially we'll go with that because you have to be comfortable with the tool. Once you get comfortable with the tool, you can also start, I can give you assignments and you can also work on your system.
So I have to install it.
Yeah, you can install it, not a problem.
Okay, and what are the versions you will
It's going to be an interactive session.
Okay, yeah. But, sorry?
9, the latest one.
9.5?
9.5 or 9.1 doesn't matter. There will not be much difference in terms of learners.
Okay. No, I don't have so
Right
much
now I have
idea.
installed 9.1.
Okay.
Okay. 9.1 is what I have right now on my system. I don't want to disturb it because there are a lot of transformations and all that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So if you can install 9.5, it looks exactly the same. So there won't be any difference in that. If it is 8 and 9, then you can.
So how do we install?
9.1 and 9.5. That will be taken
So-
care by existing team. They will take care of that.
So do we need a special configuration for, like, I mean, laptop or something?
No, absolutely nothing like that. The basic one is the best one. You will need, the best thing would be to have XP loaded. Okay, and I mean, depends upon the person who's doing that. He will tell you the details. You don't need much thing, except that if you have a good RAM, it's fine. If at all you have Windows 8 and all, he will, at that point of time, he will check there and he will decide whether to go ahead with Windows 8 or he has to do what you call kind of put Windows XP or something like that on top of that and then install it. The decision is the person who's going to install it. All that you need is a basic laptop with a reasonable amount of RAM and something like 10 GB or 20 GB of hard disk. That's all. You can use the rest of your hard disk for whatever, but leave 10 GB of this thing for this. You need to install Oracle. On top of that, you will install Informatica.
Okay. And one more question from I am from a non-technical background. So I think, is it really possible for me to learn Informatica?
Oh, there's so many. I've got 200 odd students in US and also have completed their, I mean, MS, and some of them are working people. I've done corporate also in US, RBS, Royal Bank of Scotland people. So I also work with, and in US most of them are MS students whom I work with. So they have learned and they have also been placed in companies. So it's not, at some point of time you have to learn. You have to learn in technology and get into it, right? So if you're dedicated and if you put in some time and effort, so sincerely, then I'm sure it works well.
Okay, because you have told like I have to learn some knowledge on database, but I don't have so much knowledge on that.
SQL.
Basic level I know.
SQL,
Yeah, SQL I know little bit, but
Okay.
not expert like. But I mean regarding that table views and after that primary key, foreign key, constraint. There are so many basic things. So
Okay. You can take a crash course. Hussein will talk to you about it. You can take a small crash course and you can update yourself on that.
okay.
And
Okay.
on top of that, we can give you some resources, and you can read them and try to update on that. They're very simple thing. I mean, SQL is such a simple thing, like any school student. Okay, 8th standard guy also can learn it. It's
Yeah,
not
nowadays, school student can learn all these things.
It's
Yeah.
so very easy.
Okay.
8th class student,
Yeah,
even
nowadays
in
they are
Informatica.
learning, but
Basically,
they are not.
why the students differ from others? They don't have a business knowledge. So technically, if you teach them Informatica also, they will learn. That's not a problem. Only thing is they cannot implement it because they cannot think in terms of business. Their mind is not so well developed. For us, it's different. So that's only makes a difference. Otherwise, all our jobs would have gone for the school kids.
Okay, and there is something very important in Informatica. I have heard like error handling and that tuning, because it's a BI, so it will be covered with that course.
Tuning we will cover it.
Error
Informatica tuning we will cover. Error handling also, how to actually find out the errors and all that.
Because theoretically or maybe a little bit practice is different, but well, because we are, for me,
there are certain things which are not within our, there are certain things which are not in our scope. Like for example, tuning is there. With 4 records, 10 records, what we can tune, but we can understand what is tuning. It is not possible to implement and see the performance here on our local systems, but you have to be prepared in terms of understanding how tuning is done. Conceptually, you have to conceive that, okay, this is how this works, this is how this works. And you might get some kind of challenge where you need to apply. Okay?
Yeah.
We
Okay.
will cover tuning.
Okay.
not a
And
problem.
okay.
Pardon?
And one more thing, like there is for Informatica, there is some requirement, means there is some related requirement with that Informatica, because so far the resume concerned, it's sometimes required Teradata knowledge, Unix, because without store procedure is something like which requires some different knowledge. So what about that? Means Unix shell
Yeah,
script, because you will cover
there's
store
no
procedure.
limit. There's no limit. There is
No.
no limit for these requirements, because each company and each project have a different requirement. For example, if one company is implementing Informatica, they implement it to actually only extract it from XML. Okay, they will have all XML files. We have seen one for Morgan Stanley, where there was a requirement wherein the candidate was being into a position where he had to only always look into XML. But XML is not my cup of tea. I am not a Java guy. Okay, I am not into Java, XML, and all these things. So the person himself was good at all that, but he learned Informatica. He could connect it. So like that, every project will have a different requirement. They will say, okay, this particular, our thing is actually being connected to Teradata. Somebody will say Teradata is not required. I want only a guy who's got something like Oracle with this one. Somebody else will come up with something else. So those requirements will keep on changing. So the core subject is Informatica. The core subject is Informatica. The basics is SQL, no doubt about it. And on top of that, the concepts and modeling. So this makes one package. Now, if a requirement comes on top of that, they will club with other technologies.
Okay.
So Teradata again is like, like Oracle itself. I mean, it's also a database. So
Yeah,
if you see like that, then there will be Teradata, DB2, Oracle, SQL Server, Sybase, Informix, so many other. We cannot keep track of all this. But if you learn one RDBMS, one SQL, that will be quite common for all of them.
Okay.
You should be able to, if you learn Oracle, SQL, you should be able to write queries for Teradata also. That's not a big deal.
Okay. And what about that Unix? The same thing?
Unix, I'm not. Unix, you have to be on your own. Or Hussein, you can ask Hussein for that.
No, man, I'm asking, like, is it related to that? I don't have so much idea on that. But
Unix
still,
is an operating
the same
system.
thing, optional.
It's an operating system.
Yeah,
optional.
but most
not
company
optional.
likes.
It's better to learn at least the basic. Basic commands is good. Again, Unix also has got some levels. Every requirement, you kind of, you're into development, you don't use Unix at all. If you're a developer, you don't use Unix because you work on Windows. But if you're on a production support project, or if you're an admin guy, then you are working very closely with Unix. Okay. So again, this expected things will start moving up.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
IT technology, there's always that expectation that, it keeps moving up and up and up as you get into this thing. So it's good to have all Unix and all, but at least the basic of Unix, please do learn whenever you're learning any of the data warehouse technologies, no matter what. So because that's separate, that's an operating system, just like Windows. It's another operating system. So at least the commands we should be able to follow. But we don't need it here right now.
Okay.
We'll be only working with Windows.
Got it.
But if you are not using Unix, right, how is Informatica running? Is it not running on a Unix server?
The server will run on Unix. We are not provided any server access at all. We will be provided only the client tool. Developers.
Okay, how about when you suppose when you create an output file, right? So it goes and lands on a server, right? Then how do you access it then?
They will provide you with all the details of how to access it, from which server to access it, all that information they will give you. You can just access that particular thing. If it is a file system, normally it is not, see, accessing a file on another server, is it that good, or accessing a file on your own server is good? Which is the best one?
No. What I'm talking about is even if it is on your server, how do you access? It will be on a Unix only, right? In your server also.
No, not really. Not really. It can be on a server which is on Windows or on Unix also. I'm not saying it is not on Unix or it's not on Windows. It can be on either of them. But they will give you all the details of what is the server name, how to access it. So it's a repeated task. We concentrate more on the development side. Accessing and all, you have your teammates, or we have a documented thing where we'll have information about which server to contact. Our pre-written commands also just copy paste it or something like that. But I'm not saying that you should not learn, in
My question was different. No, that's fine. I mean, whatever you said is fine. But my question was, suppose you get an interfacing system which is sending an email, a file on your server. So how do you pick it up? I mean, how does the interfacing system know your details of where to land or not?
Pardon?
Okay,
you
suppose
design
you
your
have.
system environment in such a way. You have to design your environment in such a way that files have to come and just be available on a particular server every day. It's scheduled that way.
So you mean to say, I mean, most of the times, I mean, Informatica sits on a Windows server?
Informatica server will not sit on Windows at all. Informatica server will always sit on Unix. Okay, client tools, the development, what we are going to learn will always be on Windows.
Okay.
The transformation that you are developing as a developer, that should be on Windows.
Okay, I got your question. Now suppose I want to see that file. So how do you see it? You use always your tool to see those files?
No, you have to go to the backend if you want to see it. If you have permission, go and check it. But from Informatica, you will see what are the layers from which you connect to that and give all that information to Informatica to go and connect.
So how do you call your AutoSys jobs and all that?
That I cannot do it here because we are not running a Unix system and all.
No. I'm asking an example of how do you do it. I mean, suppose you have an AutoSys job which calls your workflow. So how do you do it?
Yeah, just schedule it. You work on scheduling?
So workflow will create a KSH file?
I'm not into it much actually.
Oh, is it? It's because, I mean, how do you schedule it then, your job then?
Here I cannot show it actually. I don't have.
No, that's fine. I mean, here you cannot show it, but I mean, just an example of how do you run your jobs, I mean, in current production?
I'm not more into that part of it because development side and project management side is my area.
No. You develop a job, fine. I mean, you develop your, I mean, whatever you said, I mean, the workflow. So how do you actually run it? I mean, that's a development only, right?
Hello?
No, I'm asking you a question.
Hello?
I mean, like, you
yeah,
develop
that will
it.
be taken by the admin team here. We have an admin team. They will take care of all these things. Once you develop and give it, they will take care of all the things.
But you didn't develop at all, right? You have a workflow. How do they won't do your job, right? Like, I mean, scheduling of all those jobs.
You just submit the workflow to them. This is your job done. They will take care of it. The Unix team is there. They will take care of scheduling it and all that.
Okay.
Any more questions?
No.
Hello? Venu. Any more questions, please?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Hussein, are you there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hello? Yeah, Jay.
Yeah, tell me Hussein.
Yes. So, are we done with the demo now?
You have any other questions? We can go ahead. Otherwise, you can call.
From my side, nothing.
Okay.
Riddhima and Venu, any technical doubt you can please ask Ajay when he is online.
Okay.
All right. I'll take it as you don't have any doubt now. So, all right, Ajay, we'll stop here and I will get back to you. Let me talk to them and I'll get back to you. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thanks for that.
Thanks a lot. Bye.
Yeah. Thank you,
Riddhima
Ajay.
and Venu, I want to just talk to you once.
Yeah.
Ajay, you can leave actually. I'll continue the call with them. Hi, Riddhima, can I have you? How was the demo? I mean, you joined from middle of the class, I guess.
Yeah.
Were you able to understand?
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit. Okay. So if you want, let me see what I can do. Let me talk to him also. What to say? Ajay again. Let me see what he has to say.